It's not July yet, brother. Just get to July.
Thank you for bearing with us. It is past time to start, and we are aware of that, but we had a couple of matters we need to take care of in executive session, and we did not want to have to go back in after, so we finished up. Welcome to our meeting for Tuesday, April the 16th, the regular meeting of Greenwood County Council. In accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, the date, the time, the location, and the agenda of this meeting has been posted on the front entrance of the Greenwood County Courthouse, also on the front entrance of the Greenwood County Library. A copy of that agenda has been made available to the media and also has been posted on the county's website. With that being said, we will have our invocations, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. Our Father, we're so thankful for all that you have given to us and the many opportunities that you have afforded us. You have given us so many good examples of how we're to act and how we're to treat one another, the relationships that we should have, and how committed we are to doing what's best for the people of this county. We're thankful for that, and we ask that you would help us to open our eyes and open our ears that we can see and hear these things and take advantage of what you have blessed us with. We pray that you will be with this council tonight, and may everything that we do be pleasing in your sight. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, you have been provided with a copy of the minutes of the regular meeting for Tuesday, April the 9th, and the budget meeting, the regular meeting April the 2nd and the budget meeting for April the 9th. Are there any changes to those minutes?
Offer your motion we approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Templeton to approve.
Second, Chair.
Second by Mr. Lane. All in favor? And they are approved. Council, I'm going to ask you to join me down on the floor. And we have some recognitions that we need to make tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Council, in just a minute, I'm going to ask you to approve this proclamation, but I will read it first. Ms. Childs is not here tonight. She has, this is her second meeting that she has missed while she is in Atlanta attending to a sick family member. She expresses her regret that she could not be here, but she asked us to continue to remember her family member in our thoughts and in our prayers, and we will certainly do that. But in her stead tonight, I have the privilege of sharing with you a proclamation that Mrs. Childs wanted us to approve and present, and I'm going to ask Ms. Stewart to come forward at this time, and then she will introduce some special guests. I think all of us know this lady right here. Any of us who have been around government, she used to be a county employee and retired from the county, and then at one time she was on county council. And now she is like some of the rest of us. She's retired, and she can do just about anything that she wants to do. But I want to read this proclamation. It's something that she's been involved in, been very instrumental. Celebrating Friday, April the 19th, 2019, Good Friday, as a day of service for Kingdom Fingerprints. Whereas Kingdom Fingerprints is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making the Word of God available to all. And whereas Kingdom Fingerprints partners with churches, public and private businesses, and individuals providing opportunities for community services and strengthening the family. And whereas Kingdom Fingerprints transforms the lives of individuals, families, and communities. And whereas Kingdom Fingerprints shares the message of God's love through Bible outreach, providing life-changing hope to those often neglected by others. And whereas Kingdom Fingerprints shares the love of Jesus Christ to elementary school children, and therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the Greenwood County Council, Edith Childs expresses her appreciation to Kingdom Fingerprints for its Bible outreach ministry and service to our community by declaring Friday, April the 19th, Good Friday, as a day of service for Kingdom Fingerprints, and presents on this, the 16th day of April, 2019, Greenwood County, South Carolina, Edith Childs, County Council, District 1. I would ask council if I can have a motion and a second to approve this proclamation.
So moved, Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Lane,
Second.
second by Mr. Allison, all in favor. And the proclamation is approved. And Ms. Bobby, I will call you. I present this to you on behalf of Ms. Childs and all of us on County Council. Now, it's my understanding that there's also been 2 certificates that have been prepared, and you have 2 special guests with us.
I do.
And I'm going to let you make these presentations on behalf of Ms. Childs.
Okay.
I have a name of Jimmy Bellamy. Are you here? And Trey Scott. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about these individuals, Ms. Bobby.
Jimmy, he was at work one day and I was watching him. I had gone to Walmart and I was watching him and all these people came by. He doesn't work at Walmart. He works for another company. But he was assisting all these people. I mean, he was stopping he wasn't exactly stopping his job, I don't want to say the wrong thing. But all these people kept coming by, you know, when you're shopping at Walmart. And he kept helping them, you know, and I noticed that. And I thought, that is Kingdom Fingerprints. You know, this is an everyday thing. And I said something to him about it. And he said, he does it every day. These people come in. And there was this lady that she wanted to get a big thing of water. It was like a 20-something thing. And this young man went and got her water. And I said something to the lady later, you know, we just started talking. And it seemed that she had had back surgery. This man did not know it. But see, he had been helping people. And I thought, this is an everyday thing. And that's what Kingdom Fingerprints is all about. You know,
Going the extra mile.
You go that extra mile, even though he was doing his job. And then Trey, he is an employee at Walmart. He works for Coke. He works for Coca-Cola. He works for Coke. But Trey does work for Walmart. Okay. But let me tell you about Trey. I was shopping one day, and he, I'm investing in Walmart, y'all. But Trey takes his money and he buys water, and he goes to the inner cities and he buys hamburgers for $1 and takes it to the homeless, you know, just so they'll have a little something to eat every day. And I thought, you know, God told us to feed the hungry and do all this. And I thought, these 2 young men, you know, this is exactly what God wants us to be doing, and they're doing it. And, I mean, you couldn't get any finer men than this.
Jimmy and Trey, we want to present you with a certificate. This certificate in itself will get you nothing. I mean, you can't buy anything with it. You can't take it and trade it in. But it is an expression of not only of Miss Childs, but Miss Bobby and all of us just saying we are so appreciative.
Yes.
We hear so much negative about what's going on in our community and other places. But this is a positive thing that we're hearing tonight. We want to say thank you. We want to say keep up the good work. We want to be an encourager. And what you're doing, people see it.
That's
And
right.
it changes life, and it changes the quality of people's lives. So this says, Jimmy and Trey, thank you for going the extra mile and making a difference in the lives of those who are disadvantaged. May God continue to bless you as you continue to do His will. presented on the 16th day of April 2019. We do appreciate it. We want to give no matter how small it is, call on us. We want to, as I said, encourage you to keep up the good work and to make a difference in people's lives. Trey, thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Bobby, thank you.
Yes, sir. We thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
Y'all-
Trey, where you get? Trey, where do you get the cheeseburgers you buy?
Right there, my McDonald's.
You just go out and buy them?
Yeah, I go sorry.
And do you pay for them alone?
Well, me and my fiance, but she just helps me with it. Then we also have a YouTube channel, and we're actually doing this weekend actually go to Greenville and get that, you know. Just buy a case of water, $1 burger, that's something you just
Do you feed the same people all the time? How do
No.
you?
We had went to Atlanta. We had went to Atlanta. I had an event up there for Input Alliance. I don't know if you know what that is. It's got a car show. And I was
Okay.
like, why are we up there right now? We just help people, you know, help, because that's what I like to do. Like my little brother, my dad, they've been struggling. I gave them my old car. I just went and got another one, you know? And just, I like to help.
Good job.
Speak up. Let council speak to you. Come on.
God bless you.
Jimmy, thank you.
Yes, no, I'm from Greenville. I've been up there for 5 years, so not that long. Just nervous, though.
Need to come out one close by, let me tell you a story. Come close by fast.
You still got the cell phone number? Have you know how to call me?
I used to live in Bristol.
Before you get to the phone, stop, is the left turn.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, it's left
May we depart, please?
You may. Guys, come back to see us.
Thanks, guys.
We want to recognize our 2019 employees of the first quarter. We sometimes make a little speech, so to speak, of when this occasion comes around, and I was thinking today what I could say to you that was different. And the thought came to me, as most of you know, several weeks ago I had an episode at my house one Friday night about 11 o'clock, and I needed EMS to be there. And I called them, at least my wife called them, and it seems like they must have been parked in my front yard, because almost immediately they were in my living room administering service to me. And you know, it goes, what you folks do every day, we don't think much about it until we need you. And then we realize how valuable you are to us, to all of us. They did for me what I couldn't do for myself. And so I say to you tonight, you are important. You don't get the recognition you often should, and you may not make the salary that you should, but you make a difference in people's lives every day. I've had the occasion recently to be in the courthouse and be in some of the offices over there, and I hear your interaction with the public, and I see what you do to provide services to them. So from the bottom of our hearts, like we do once a quarter, and then when we have the annual banquet, we just cannot tell you enough how much we appreciate what you do. We, like everyone else, sometimes we see the negative and we don't see the positive. But if you're sitting in your home like I was, and that person knocks on the door and comes in and does for you what you can't do for yourself, I'm telling you, it's positive. And we thank you tonight. So we want to honor you. And the first person that we will recognize is Rhonda Ivy from the assessor's office. Is she here? How long have you been employed with the county?
A little little over a year.
A little over a year. And you're already an employee of the quarter.
Thank you.
Speak to council as you come back. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Jamie Hughes from the clerk of court. Jamie is not here. I may not pronounce this right. Is it Jenica? Jenica Peterson? I mean, I could have gone a dozen different ways. You're not here either. What about Melissa Duff? We all know Melissa. Do you want me to ask how long you've been with the county? How long?
20 years.
20 years. Thank you for what you do. She's the one that sends you all those emails and gets you where you need to be. Shane Sprouse.
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation. Mary Bright. Mary Bright. Congratulations.
Thank
How long
you.
have you been with the county?
16 months.
16 months. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
One day it'll be 16 years.
Boy, you know it. Congratulations.
Cody Cockrell. How long, Cody? 4 years. 4 years. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Department head of the quarter. Trip May. This man is also retiring, I think, at the end of this month. Am I right?
That's right.
Yeah. How many years of service?
30 years.
30 years. Seems like it was yesterday, doesn't it? Really. Thank you, Trip, not
Thank
only
you.
for being the department head of the quarter, but thank you for everything you've done for Greenwood County.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. And I hope your retirement is enjoyable and you can do all of the things that you've always wanted to do but never could have the time.
I hope so.
God
Thank
bless-
you.
God bless
Thank
you.
Thanks, sir. I figured that came.
Yeah, you do it.
And the overall employee of the quarter from the Sheriff's Department, Cody Cockrell. And Melissa has asked me to announce that you may be dismissed to the reception, which is next door. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Quite welcome, man. Susan, would you hand me my package down out there? Thank you.
And just like that, the room is. Yeah, just like that. Whoosh. Just like that. Clear it out.
It is time for us to enter into a public hearing part of our agenda. Do I have a motion that we conduct our public hearing?
So moved, Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Lane, second by Mr. Templeton, all in favor? Our first public hearing and only public hearing is ordinance 2019-06, which establishes the soil and erosion sedimentation control in the Lake Emplat area. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of that ordinance? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to that ordinance? If not, I will close the public hearing and ask council, what is your pleasure?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Mr. Templeton and a second by Ms. Spencer. Any discussion, any questions? All in favor? Second reading is approved. We have first reading in title only, which is ordinance 2019-07, which amends the Title 6, Chapter 6, Article D of the Greenwood County Code to replace the current flood management overlay zone with the South Carolina Model Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance. That is first reading in title only. Is there any other business to take care of? If not, then we will go to district reports. Mr. Allison,
No report from District 2, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Spencer,
I've had a chance to go out to Alonzo and had a great time with the county manager and got a lot of interesting facts. It was a big difference from when I lived 19 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Really enjoyed it.
Mr. Templeton,
All is well in District 6, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Lane,
On Sunday evening, the county manager and I had the pleasure of attending the induction ceremony for Councilwoman Spencer as the newly appointed pastor of Cokesbury Baptist Church. And let me just say that I'm going to buy Miss Spencer a watch because the week before she told me, she said, "Now Theo, we're not going to be there 2 hours." And she was right. We were there about 4.5. So, but it was a glorious service, and I want to thank Ms. Spencer for allowing Toby and I to be a part of it. And we had a wonderful meal at the Arts Center afterwards, and I think Cokesbury Baptist Church is the winner. And it's my report, Chair.
thank you. As part of my report, I want to give some recognition. I never knew this gentleman until I began my service on county council. But I learned very quickly as I would enter this door after our administration and finance committee meeting. I met an African-American gentleman who sat maybe in that first or second seat on that last row. And I learned that his name was Thomas Waller. And he would greet us and speak to us. He would pass pleasantries with us. I found him to be and learned him to be one of the sweetest, kindest, engaging people that I have ever met in my life. And he was just, I began to look forward to seeing Mr. Waller when I came to the county council meeting. If he had a question of us, he would ask us a question. Oftentimes it was just encouragement. But this past week, Mr. Waller passed. And I want to read his obituary to us and put it in the record. Master Sergeant Thomas E. Waller, U.S. Army retired. Widower, and I may not pronounce her name right, but it's Marcelle Miller Waller, departed this life on April the 9th, 2019. He was born in 96, South Carolina on April the 3rd, 1932, as the last child of James and Sarah Brooks Waller. Master Sergeant Waller graduated from Brewer High School in 1949 and graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering from South Carolina State College in 1954. He entered the U.S. Army in 1954, served in 2 tours in Korea, 2 tours in Vietnam, and 1 tour in Germany. While in service, he was awarded several decorations, to include 6 Good Conduct Medal Awards, 2 Army Accommodations Ribbons, a Drill Sergeant Badge Ribbon, 2 Bronze Stars Awards, and 1 Combat Infantry Badge. His stateside duty assignments included Fort Dix, New Jersey, Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Gordon, Georgia, and Fort Riley, Kansas. Master Sergeant Waller retired with 20 years of service in 1974. After retiring, he worked at Greenwood High School as a JROTC instructor, coached the rifle and pellet team. He took 2 teams to the 2 National Guard national matches. The first team finished 7th and the last match under his direction, the team had a third place finish. Upon his retirement from the ROTC department, he was awarded the Commander's Award for public service and retired from District 50 with 18 years of service. He had a private and personal relationship with the Lord and had a strong belief in patriotism, value, and personal responsibility. He was a lifelong member of Marshall Chapel Baptist Church, where he served as a Sunday school teacher, Sunday school superintendent, and trustee. For over 50 years, he was actively involved in stewarding the land and advocating agriculture and natural resources, and served as a member of the Clemson Extension Advisory Council. In addition, he was one of the founding members of the Piedmont Farmers Marketing Corporation. In 2007, he was awarded the Agriculturist of the Year. When we describe him as a patriot, I want you to listen to some of his family members and listen to their titles. Master Sergeant Thomas Waller is survived by 2 daughters. Lieutenant Colonel Thomasina Waller and Oletta Waller. Granddaughter Brittany Waller. Goddaughter Marcel Bryant. Grandgodchildren Maya and Vernon Dante. Nieces and nephews Aileen Jenkins, James and Carolyn Jenkins, Thomas and Lisa Jenkins, Sergeant Major W.F. Beckton, U.S. Marine Corps retired, and Dana Beckton. Lieutenant Colonel Lamont and Colonel Joyce Waller retired. Dr. Kenneth and Jocelyn Jackson. Faye Waller Mathis. Major Leo and Rhonda Lynn Waller retired. Close family friends with Paul and Janie Freeman, James and Barbara Williams, and a host of loving nieces, nephews, great nieces, great nephews, and other relatives and friends to mourn his passing. We are going to miss Thomas Waller in our meetings, but we're going to miss Thomas Waller in this community and in this world, and we need more people like Thomas Waller. And tonight, I close my report by saying, rest in peace, Master Sergeant Thomas Waller. May God bless you, your memory, and all of your family. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hard to follow that report. But I actually do have something I need to discuss with council and hopefully get your approval on. In the recycling department, we have 3 recycling trucks, 2 that operate daily and 1 that's a spare. Our spare has gone down and is no longer cost effective to repair it. We need to deviate from our normal seal bid process to purchase a new one, which we've already budgeted for. Donna will explain to you the specs and give you the details at the end. I ask that you approve this deviation from our normal policy.
Mr. Chairman, Council, thank y'all for affording me the opportunity to present to you all. As Toby mentioned, we did put this out for bid. However, we have approved in our FY19 budget to purchase a recycling truck. And after we put it out for bid, one of our, as he mentioned, we have 3 trucks that we use. One of which is the repairs greater than the asset itself, the truck. We got a repair bill that came back for $49,000+. We look to, even if we put it out on Gov Deals or to sell that truck, we may get $30,000 for it. So obviously the truck is not worth repairing. Therefore, I feel fortunate that we were able to go back to the bidders and ask them, did they have a demo truck that would be available to us? And the reason I present the demo as an option for us, and I think it's a very viable option of where we are, because after talking with my guys that are out there on the road now, we have 1 truck. And you know, we've got the holiday coming up and other holidays down the line. So long story short, we are in the need of another recycle truck. And the demo truck allows us to do that. We have two that are available to us after talking with the folks that put in the bid. The comparison in those two demo trucks, model year, one is a 2017 auto car, the other is a 2015 Peterbilt. The auto car still has a warranty remaining on it of 1-year engine, 3-year transmission. The Peterbilt does not have any warranty left on it. The mileage on the auto car is a little over 10,000 with 615 hours. The Peterbilt is 25,500 with greater than 1,000. I could go on and on if you want me to. The bottom line is I feel like I recommend that we go ahead and move forward with the purchase of the auto car. There's other features that the auto car has. It's a lot larger cab for our guys. I was talking to one of the drivers this afternoon that had sat in the Peterbilt all day. He said it's tight, his legs was hurting. It's just a larger cab. The visibility in the auto car is much greater because in a Peterbilt, the exhaust system is right behind the driver's panel, whereas the auto car, you do not have that. So when you're looking around, it provides greater visibility. And there's many other features that I could mention. But the funds are there in our budget to purchase another vehicle, and so that I would ask you to allow me to purchase the auto car, the demo.
If you'll just stay right where you are. Council, I would entertain a motion, and I think it fits with the state law, which allows us to amend the agenda. I would ask you to give me a motion and a second to add this item to our agenda. And then we will vote on this request.
Chairman, can I ask a question first for clarity before we make that motion and move away from discussion?
On just adding it to the agenda?
No, can I ask a question of Donna before we make the motion?
Well, I just want to add it to the agenda so we can discuss it.
I'll make a
Oh, excuse me.
motion, Mr. Chair.
We got a motion by Mr. Templeton,
Second.
second by Mr. Lane, that it be added to the agenda. All in favor? So we're now on the agenda. So, Mr. Lane, if you want to ask a question, go ahead.
Chairman, I had that backwards, that's why I'm not chairman. So my phone was buzzing, Donna, and I apologize, I was distracted. So the truck's down. You said we had a bill, but you meant we have an estimate to repair it
do.
for more than the truck's worth.
That is correct. We
So
have
the
a
reason
quote.
we want to forego the normal procurement policies, because we need it right now,
We need it
today.
today. We
Okay.
need it today. We needed it today. We need it tomorrow. We need it now.
You said, though, that we had already put it out for bids. Had those bids not come in?
Well, we
For
did
the
put it
new-
out for bid and we received the bids, but the bids were good for 30 days. And shortly after that time period of giving us time to go through the bids and look at those bids, they were good for 30 days. And then the truck went down. Our third truck went down shortly after that. So I went back to the 5 bidders that I had and I asked if we would have to put it back out for bid. Because again, the quotes, the bids is submitted on the bid. They're only good for 30 days.
Okay.
So at this point in time, if we would have to put it out for bid to rebid it anyway.
Okay.
These quotes would not be good for us to use. So that's where we're at. And so with the ones that had bid, as I mentioned, those 5, I went back to them and told them the situation that we're in, knowing again that we would have to put it out for bid because prices have gone up for whatever reason, because the quotes had 30 days on
Are you
it.
just buying a chassis?
We're buying a body and a cabin chassis.
So you're buying the
Fully
everything?
operational. It's the
Yeah.
fully
The full
operational.
truck
Yes.
for that amount of money?
For $250,000. We budgeted for $300,000, so.
No, I
The repair,
don't think she ever said the number. She was talking about
Yeah.
what the repair was and what the other one was
Yeah.
valued at. I was getting ready to ask
That's
that
why I
question.
said a chassis. I didn't think those trucks come that cheap.
I was gonna ask that question.
I thought you were gonna lift the part off and put a new chassis up on it. Okay.
no, we're not gonna do that.
Um,
The price of the truck, the demo truck would be $250,000 and we budgeted for $300,000.
Mr.
Any
Chairman,
questions, Mr. Allison?
I don't have a question. I would make a motion that we accept the recommendation from the Director of Public Works to purchase.
I have a motion and do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Spencer. Now, any other questions?
One more question.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir.
Donna, the 250 truck that we can buy versus the new one for 300, what's the What's the status of the 250? How much mileage and that kind of stuff?
The auto car that I mentioned is the 2017. It still has a warranty left on it. The other one, the Peterbilt that I mentioned, does not. And the mileage is 10,000 miles, 615 hours on the
Okay,
truck.
So it's minimal.
I
Okay.
I don't think she said that the new one was gonna be 300,000. I think she said we budgeted.
We
300,000.
budgeted 300,000. It's 250.
The new one would cost what? Just out of curiosity.
The new truck that came in, which does not have all the bells and whistles, when we put the specs out so that others, that we could put it out for others to bid instead of focusing on, you know, one that we wanted because we already have an auto car in our fleet. And so this came in at $273,552.55. But again, it has other things that I could mention that would increase the amount of the truck, the features on it, because this does not have all the bells and whistles on it, versus this, because it is a demo, so when you're going around demoing something, a truck, it has all the bells and
So
whistles,
you
so
got
this
this
would be a
all
lot more.
Yeah, but you're getting the top of the line truck, and you
We
can get
are.
it, and you can get it tomorrow.
Yes, we're
Okay.
getting the top
Thank
of the
you.
line,
I'm good.
everything on the truck that we can get is on this demo truck.
Okay.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you. Don, if you would, give them the full range of the bids from November so they understand the full range, because it's 5 different bids.
It's 5 different bids, and the lowest bid did not meet the specs. It did not meet, the wheelbase was too long, so it did not meet the specs, but it came in at $207,269.91, but again, it didn't meet our specs. So the actual lowest one, the next one would have been $249,507.48. The next one was $251 even, and the next one's $266,710. And as I mentioned, $273,552.55 was an auto car. But like I said, these do not have, this is just like when you go in and buy a vehicle, it's just the bottom of the line. It doesn't have any bells and whistles and everything else added onto it. We have a transmission retarder, which would be added another $10,000 to $12,000 that we're getting on this demo that we would not get on buying this new auto car for the 273.
Mr. Manager, you support this recommendation?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
You've heard from Public Works Director and from our manager. Do you need any additional information before we vote?
Move to approve, Chairman.
We've already got a motion
Oh, I'm
and a
sorry.
second on the floor. All in
Yeah, I'll
favor
go
of the
again.
motion to approve? And that is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Manager?
Just one other thing, and while Donna's here, May 11th, we'll be conducting a public auction of some surplus property. It'll be publicized in the community, so when you see it, surplus property in the county.
Is that equipment?
It's a range, you have that list.
I did not-
It's a long
it's-
list of,
It's not land, not property.
no, it's actual equipment, like it's
Vehicles and equipment.
vehicles and equipment.
Vehicles and equipment, May the 11th, at
This
the
meeting-
garage.
This meeting stands adjourned.
Thank you.
What are you cutting over there?
Tell me to bring weapons.
I don't know, again, let's